Hello. Do. Hello. I have no idea if you're hearing me. We'll try this again. Well, hey guys. Welcome to the day I publish my book. Woohoo! It counts for my husband. That means we're not getting a divorce. Sorry for the haters and my exes who were hoping for a rebound. Nope. My husband is staying with me. He is stuck here. He's screwed. So, no divorce thanks to today. So, here we go. Are you ready for this? I'm not. I am certainly not. Mostly because I don't know why I decided to do a live stream across all of the YouTubes and so forth. But it is a fun time. I don't know if you guys can even hear me or not. And you know what? That's okay. Because if I just pretend like no one's there and it doesn't matter, then we're good because technically no one's there. And in the end, none of this matters. We are all just here. Well, I guess it matters. It matters for my faith. Am I just speaking blasphemy? Okay. Good way to start. Here we heckin' go. I'm going to say that a lot because I have begun Adderall. And this is what happened. So, as you can tell, it's spooky in here. I'm actually going to let some air in because I've just had this candle lit forever. And I've been alone in this room and there's some smoke. By room, I mean closet. I'm like Harry Potter, but if his bedroom was his office. So, woo! Okay, let's talk about the book. Shadewalker is something that I have been writing for over 10 years now. Like, this has been a long time coming. I started writing it in 2015, which is the time that Shadewalker itself began. It's where the plot begins in 2015, though this scene in particular happens in 1963, and yeah, the idea stemmed from a billion different things I had going on at the time when I was in high school and, a teenager and really edgy, and now I'm an adult and a teenager and really edgy. I'm not an adult teenager, I'm just an adult. I'm 27. I'm old. And this is finally happening. Anyone who looks at my website will see that I've been gone for a long time in terms of writing in public, because writing in public is, well, it was overwhelming. Meeting deadlines was overwhelming for a while there, but now I have good things going on and I have the motivation and the diligence, and deadlines do motivate me to finish this gosh darn novel. And this is how I'm starting out because I don't know what else to do. Welcome to everyone. No one is currently watching this live stream. I even told my dearest husband that I would be live streaming, and he's not even here. It's on Facebook, it's on X, Twitter, Twex. But yeah, it's all good overall. This candle is super awesome. I made this candle. I wish I could show you, but I don't want to ruin the entirety of my setup. And I don't want to ruin the candle by picking it up and moving it because I'm afraid something will happen. But yeah, I made a candle. I get to inhale it on my lonesome in my closet. That is my office. And I love my office being a closet. I had a whole office that was an office, but now it is just closet because I like small spaces to write in, to work in. I can close it off, and my dearest beloved Ethan is still outside playing video games. So right now he's getting me food, which is mandatory. Boys, listen up. Survival, food. If you want a girl, get her food. Get her food. It's the best. I eat a little too much food, but I'm working on that. But today's a special day, so. Okay, I guess because I'm talking to myself, I'll get started. Wow, I'm bad at this, and I have to break the fourth wall constantly. This is why I write, not video. Okay. Togden, Oregon, March 19th, 1963. T minus 51 years, 10 weeks, 21 days, 5 hours, and 18 minutes. From the POV of Richard Blossom. Richard Blossom rubbed his forehead with a coarse hand. He was on his third coffee that night, trying to think of a way to scrape up some cash to update the police manuals to the modern standards of society. A few activist groups were pushing for the change. Could he ask for their help in organizing a fundraiser? My husband's home with food. One moment. Hey, y'all.
Hi.
You're very cute.
Yeah.
And you brought me food?
Yeah.
I love you.
I don't know if they put the mushrooms on.
Oh, that's okay. Either way.
Huh?
That's okay, either way. It's Tony Burger.
Yep. Do you want 1 or 2 fries?
1 is good. Did you get more?
I just got 2.
I'll take good.
I just got me a lot of food because
You hungries?
I'm just starving.
You're so hungry? I'm so spooky.
Sure.
What?
You can lie. You say you are.
I am spooky. Right, guys? My chat? Crickets. Crickets, but not because I'm not spooky, but because no one's here to confirm how spooky I am. But that's okay. I don't need your confirmation. Tony Burger. I'm taking a minute for Tony Burger. Mm. Mm. I gotta get the fries out of the bottom of the bag. Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I have fries. I also have a burger. So let's. I'm gonna really finish this fast. Okay, here we go. Richard Blossom rubbed his forehead with a coarse hand. He was on his third coffee that night, trying to think of a way to scrape up some cash to update the police manuals to the modern standards of society. A few activist groups were pushing for the change. Could he ask for their help in organizing a fundraiser? No. He sighed, a picture frame on his desk catching his eye. A black and white photograph framed in a silver circle that his mother gave them for their wedding. In it, he held his beautiful Susan, grinning like a schoolboy, while she beamed up at him in his suit and tie. Susan would have fixed this by now, he thought. She would have kicked up a fundraiser in no time. He felt a drop of bitterness tainting his already sour mood. 4 kids go missing. No trace of them. Kids don't manage for very long when they're missing. It was hard at first, his own children disappearing off the face of the earth, but at least they had the oldest 2. Stephen and Richard Jr. were still here and growing into fine young men. They did everything they could to make their mother happy, but then she spat in their face with a bullet through her skull. Richard sneered at the silver-framed wedding photo and tipped it face down on the desk with a clack. Selfish. Sir! Richard nearly leaped out of his seat as he stood up and turned around to find his assistant, Deborah, standing behind him, clothes streaked crimson. There's a boy next door. You need to see him. Alarm bells screamed through Richard's ears at the sight of blood. He snatched his coat off the back of his chair and took her arm. Show me. The sprint out of the precinct and across the dark street and into the ER was too fast to register. The front desk lady recognized the police chief and his secretary. Deborah took the lead, and they arrived at a closed door. Richard expected an accident victim, but when he opened that door, the boy Dr. Barnes looked over in a hospital was one that he had declared dead years ago. Richard froze. Straight red hair, green eyes, freckles, and eyelashes so black that his mother once claimed he was born with mascara. Xavier? He choked. The boy looked up with bright eyes and a grin that could defeat vampires. Hi, Papa. Where's Mama? Richard's everything went numb. You're alive? Xavier, his cheeks hollow, any fat stripped from his body, tilted his head to the side curiously. Why are you asking me that? Where have you all been? Richard asked. Xavier, no longer 3 years old, now 6, looked perplexed and a little afraid. Nowhere. Playing. Mama said we could. Richard shook his head. She didn't say to disappear for 3 years. Where did you go? Xavier, eyes wide and afraid, answered. I don't know. Playhouse? Richard stared at his youngest son, boggled. This was a dead end. Were they all separated in the beginning? Xavier must have wandered away from the group as usual and been snatched first. Who took you? Xavier, without hesitation, pointed right behind him at Deborah. She did. Deborah gasped, and Richard's shock had his gun out of his holster and aimed at her in an instant. Deborah, explain yourself. Deborah's hands were up instantly. I have no explanation, Rick. I didn't take your children. He has to be mistaken. But you did take me, Xavier chimed in. You took me right here to the doctor. Richard, Deborah, and the doctor all looked at the boy in shock. Awkwardly, Richard cleared his throat and put his firearm away. Deborah put her hands back down and shrugged. I would have done the same. Richard's heart pounded in his chest as he stared at his youngest son, emaciated, flecks of blood in the crevices of his knuckles, nails, and elbows. His eyes were hollowed out, with the darkest circles beneath them, bruises from needles running up and down his arms. He looked at the doctor, whose eyes wouldn't meet his, only glancing nervously at a clipboard hanging off of Xavier's IV. Richard, trembling, grabbed it and sat down. The clipboard was a catalog of damage. He choked on his own vomit before hurling whatever he'd eaten into the garbage can. The tears came at once. Why? He cried out. Why would anyone do this? Are you okay, Papa? Xavier asked from the hospital bed that practically swallowed him. Are you sick? He looked up at Dr. Barnes and pulled feebly on his lab coat. My papa's sick. Can you fix him? Richard sobbed. Xavier, don't you understand what's wrong? What happened to you? You've been gone for 3 years. Your mother's dead. Someone has been hurting you for a long time, and you're just acting as if none of that happened. Xavier paused, his face blank. Richard held his breath, waiting for a cry or a question about his mother or anger or even some sort of memory or confession of whatever his where his brothers were. A smile broke out on the boy's face, a smile he'd never smiled before, one that was too wide for his face and too cold for his eyes. His lips moved, but another voice, a woman's voice, came out of him. Oh, don't get too caught up in the details. He'll never remember what happened. Deborah crossed herself. The doctor conveniently had another patient to work on stat. Richard reached under his shirt and gripped his alma mater amulet tightly. What did you just say? Xavier's eyes fluttered almost flirtatiously, and he gave a small pout. You're worried about your other boys? Don't be. The rest are long gone. I killed them. Richard's mouth went dry. He wasn't talking to his son. You killed them? A gleeful grin spread across Xavier's face like butter. Oh, yes. They took a long time to go, too. Then Xavier killed me. It lifted Xavier's hands, streaks of red still showing despite whatever they did to wash away the blood, and ran away. Richard felt sick. Get out of my son, he demanded, feeling his rage begin to kick in again. Deborah removed her crucifix from her neck, holding it out in front of herself as she approached the bed. The thing in Xavier's body growled. Get that away from me! Deborah began reciting the Lord's Prayer, and the demon held still. Richard watched his assistant gently rest the crucifix around the demon's neck. Xavier's body relaxed immediately, and he looked around, disorientation in his eyes. Deborah breathed a sigh of relief and smiled down at him. Hello, Xavier. How do you feel? Fine, thank you. How are you? Richard stared at them for a moment before he disappeared into the hallway. He had calls to make. And that is chapter 1. I'll see you on the website, on the Patreon, somewhere. Yeah. I have food. So, bye.